What's up? The last week, the France national team announced that Firouzja is not going to play for France anymore. He never played with France in this Olympiad. He didn't want to play. In the previous Olympiad, the same. In the European Championship, he never played. And finally, France decided that Firouzja is not going to play more for their national team. And in this game, we had the match between the real number one of France, who is Bachar Lagrave, and the fake France number one, who is Alireza Firouzja. So let's see what happened in this game in the second round of the Grand Chess Tour in Romania. Firouzja open with e4, c5, Bachar always plays Sicilian, knight f3, d6, and Firouzja goes for the open line with d4, c takes, knight f6, and knight c3. And here, of course, Bachar goes for his lovely Najdorf defense, maybe the best defense in chess or one of the best defense. Especially if you want to play for win or an aggressive, maybe the Najdorf is the best option. And if you want to play correct, of course, not crazy lines that are a white advantage. I employ the Najdorf so much times in the past, so I like this defense. A6, and now Firouzja goes for a English attack. We're starting with f3. You can play bishop e3 first. The lines are more or less similar. f3, Bachar goes for the main line with e5. Here, e6 is another option, but going more for a 7 structure. But Maxime goes for the Najdorf, e5, knight b3, bishop e6, bishop e3, and here, very good move by Bachar Lagrave, h5. In the past, everybody plays the Najdorf with opposite castles. For example, short castle, knight d7, sorry, fuck, knight d7, here, g4, b5, that's so typical, g5, b4, or here knight h5. In the past, all the people play the Najdorf like this, but nowadays, all the top players, or the majority of the top players employed h5. The idea is stop d4, simply. Or you can play bishop e7, and after queen d2, here h5. The idea is stop d4. Very interesting. So Bachar goes for h5 and 95. 95 is the typical response against h5. Now you have more troubles to play g4 and attacking the king side, so you should play different with knight d5. Bishop d5, it takes knight b7, queen d2, g6, non-castle, and here the main move is knight b6, just going to take the pawn, king b1 and knight bd5, and that's one of the main position of the Najdorf. There are thousands of games, maybe 1,000, or let's see how many games there are. 1,000 of games in this position. I play that with white. I play that with black. Is one of the main position if you play Najdorf, or if you play English attack against Najdorf. Here we have many moves. Bishop g5. I remember that is one of the main options, but there are tons of theory in this position. But Lagrave decides to play bishop g7 again with a move with less theory. The machine say that knight b6 is slightly better, but maybe bishop d7 for a game is better if you want to keep the more tension over the board instead of go for all the 4 lines that I suppose that Firouzja knows here the theory till the move 30. So good idea for Bachar Lagrave to play the more strategical game. King b1, the normal move, just leaving this diagonal. And here b5 by MVL. Queen c7 is another possibility. For example, if h3, now very important move, h4, stopping g4. Bishop e2, short castle g4 is a interesting way to play with white. It's maybe my favorite against queen c7. Here rook fc8, rook c1, takes a5, important move with black, e5, a4, takes, and black is fine with the piece sacrifice. And black have huge counterplay for the piece. Okay, this is with queen c7. b5 is another normal move. Knight a5 again. Firouzja is making all the typical moves against b5. Knight a5 is the most common, going to the c6 square. Knight b6 and now knight c6. Of course, that's the idea of knight a5. Queen c7, and now Good move taking the knight to break with c4 the position. Now black is threatening take on d5 and the c6 knight is going to be hanging, the bishop is going to be attacked, so you should respond or taking the knight, or the other option is c4. Who can transpose if white takes with the pawn after bishop b6 is a transposition, but black have this extra option of knight c4, with anything special is more or less equal to, but maybe slightly better for white. But okay, black have this extra option, okay, it's fine for white. But okay, Firouzja go for the most normal move, and here c4, which is the typical breakthrough. Until here, Firouzja is making all the normal moves in the position. I prefer a little bit more the idea of bishop d3. Because, for example, if a4, if a5, who is the normal move, here I have this plan of c3 and bishop c4. And this bishop is very good place on c2 because it's defending the queen side and it's attacking to the king side too. So I really like the bishop on c2. I really like this plan of Firouzja. Here, queen c5 is a little bit more precise instead of a5 attacking d5. And if a3, queen d5, knight b4, queen c5, and bishop b4, that's a computer line who says equal. But very interesting here. Okay, Firouzja played the normal move c4, and now Batzer takes on c4, who is logic, but short castle is slightly better here. If c takes, a takes, queen b4, attacking b5. I suppose that Batzer was afraid about that. But here black have this very good move, e4, sacrificing all the pawns but opening his pieces. Especially in the position with opposite color bishops, you should open the bishop that your opponent haven't. You have a dark square bishop and your opponent doesn't have a dark square bishop. So it's very important to open the bishop that your opponent haven't. And yes, especially in this type of position and to attack. So e4, very good move. Bishop b5, it takes f3 and the position is equal. So this idea is very interesting. By the way, Batzer plays he takes c4, bishop c4. Now a5, again, normal move, trying to win space in the queen side, trying to attack in the queen side. So a5, of course, normal move. A4, very good response by Firouzja, not allowing white to play a4 and still taking space. So very good move by Firouzja. E4, and the other purpose of this move is later place a bishop on b5, completely blockading the queen. Short castle, rook h1, rook a8. Of course, black wants to play e4 one day, queen e3. And here, the best option for black is just entering the endgame with rook e3 and h4. And the position is more or less balanced. I think that the Batcher keep queens over the board because he thought that maybe the white king can be a little bit more exposed than the black king, but the best option is entering the game. Yes, and the position is more or less equal. Maybe white is slightly better because it's going to be easier to create a pass pawn in the queen side for white. And okay, this knight can help so much a future a pass pawn, for example, with something like before an a5 and start to run. But black have good counterplay with e4 opening the e7 bishop. White is slightly better, but okay, this was the best option for black. The problem of queen b7 is that after bishop b5, the b7 queen is a very bad piece. It's completely blockaded by the bishop, by the knight, and yes, black have here no so active plans. So, and white queens control all the board. White queen is controlling the queen side, is controlling the king side, is in the center. So the queen b7 is a bad idea because after the bishop plays on b5, this queen is a very bad piece. Have no active plans. Okay, but here of course plays e4, opening or trying to open all his pieces, trying to open the rook, trying to open the bishop, and activating the knight. Sorry, here. And now Firouzja plays f4. Who the machine doesn't criticize this move so much, but the practical play I didn't like so much. Queen f4 was a better option, keeping the g4 and e4 squares control. Because the problem of f4 is that you lost the control of the g4 square. And now, okay, the black queen is still being so passive, and the a8 rook the same. But at least black activated the rook, the bishop, and the knight. So at least black is playing with three pieces. For that reason, queen f4 here was better, and if it takes f3, rook e8. For example, if rook e8, here you have knight a5, an intermezzo move, very important. Or if knight takes, just queen f3 and h3. Yes, but the key of the line is this intermezzo knight a5. Or h3 is another option, just playing solid. The problem of f4 is that, okay, the machine here prefer queen c8, but I think that knight g4 is so normal. Knight f2, and Mathieu plays the knight on d3. And here came a huge mistake by Firouzja. He played the natural move, bishop d3. It's natural, but this is not natural. Because, okay, the knight is very strong on d3. It's obvious that the knight on e3, sorry, is attacking the e1 rook, is attacking the b2 pawn, is attacking f4. The knight is a completely beast on d3. But what happened that after bishop d3, who can look so natural, taking the knight and winning a pawn, the problem is that this move activates the black queen. This is going to be key in the game, the activation of this b7 queen. Maybe Firouzja underestimate the power of having the bishop on b5, covering the b5 for the queen. But this move was an important mistake because he's opening the black king. Of course, Firouzja knows that he's opening the black queen, sorry, but he maybe evaluated that having the d3 knight is going to be more important than open the black queen. But this was a huge mistake. Rook f1, the solid move, defending everything, and white is fine. After take, okay, white wins a pawn, but let's see. Now this bishop is very active on g7. This queen is very active on b7, both attacking the b2 pawn, and the rook is in open fire. 2 moves ago, okay, the knight was good place on d3, the bishop is open on g7, but both black rooks are close, especially their a8 rook was a very bad piece, and the most important, the queen was completely close on b7, thanks to the job of this bishop. And now let's see 3 moves later, how active are the black pieces. And white only have an extra pawn who is not important, because the extra pawn is the b2 pawn, and I don't think that the b2 pawn is going to go so far. Okay, now very good move by Batser, queen b6, activating the queen. Okay, 2, queen g1, going for the a2 pawn, have really sense, because after the a2 pawn is going to fall the f4 pawn. I added black have some ideas with rook e1 and rook h1, knight a5. Here, rook e1 was the best move. But okay, rook a8 in the practical is good, because the best move for white here was before. Looks very scary, because you are opening your king, you are allowing queen a1. So before is very scary to do. So okay, in the good practical decision for Batserlagraph rook a8, because before is very hard to do and to evaluate. Firouzja doesn't want to open his king, of course, and he played the normal move queen b5, but this allows queen e2, queen b4, defending f4, and now Batcher start to run with h4. Okay, black have 2 pass pawns here. No, the b2 pawn doesn't count so much, but the a4 pawn is going to run what day. But okay, black have this h4 pawn and have his ideas too. And the bishop in this type of pawn races is better than the knight. And the black king is safer than the white king. And the machine says equal, but it's more or less compensated, because white have a pass pawn, white have an extra pawn, but black have a safer king and a bishop against the knight. For that reason, the machine say more or less equal. f5 here, f5, he takes f5, and here comes an important mistake by Firouzja. He played knight b3. I don't know what is the knight doing on b3. Was better knight c6. The idea of knight c6 is came to the king side, and in the king side he's going to attack the black king and defend the h4 pawn. So because f5 was a very good move, opening the black king, but now knight c6 is important, coming to e7, f5, and just coming to the king side. Knight b3 is a very strange move. And the second mistake of Firouzja came here. After bishop h6, attacking the rook, here the normal moves are or rook c2 or rook e2. Yeah, defending the g2 pawn. But instead of that, he played rook d4. Okay, his idea is you cannot take here because this pawn is hanging. But after bishop g5, black is completely lost. Let's start why. The bishop on g5 is a completely beast. Because first, he's defending h4, and after queen d7 played by Firouzja, rook d8, black have everything defended. The g5 bishop is defending a4, is defending d8, the rook on d8 is defending d6, so all black pieces are well defended, and black plan is going to be queen g4, h3, h2, h1. Okay, we can say the same with the white pieces. White plan is going to be a5, a6, a7, and a8, promoting the queen. And if we count, um, white is going to promote one tempo early. But let's see what is going to happen. A5, queen takes, a6, h3, h7, a2, a queen. Black, of course, will take the queen. And now white take with check. With this another extra tempo and look like white should be winning. But he promoted first and with check. What happened that after king g7, that maybe is what Firouzja missed in his calculations. Now white have no way to defend the pawn, the promotion. The only option is rook d1, but after and white have no checks, no attacks, especially because the knight is very bad place on b3. And after rook d1, we promote two, take. Okay, let's stop in the position because we have many force moves. Both players promote his pass pawns, and both players give the rule for the pass pawn. But what keeps he over the board? Both have his queens, his kings, of course, and these blockaded pawns who are not so important. But what black have? Black have two pawns, one to run, and the other to defend the king, and white just have one pawn. Okay, you can run with the pawn, but your king is not going to be defended. But black have both. Black have a pawn to run. Okay, it's double, but yeah, are important the pawn. That doesn't matter that here the pawns are double. Because you have one pawn to run and the other pawn to defend the king. And added to that, black have the bishop and white have the knight. In this type of pawn races, the bishop is better. So black is completely winning. Queen c6, bishop f4, defending the pawn. Queen e4, queen b4. Yeah, let's see that Firouzja doesn't know how to do with the knight. He go from a3 to b3 to a3. But we are seeing that Marcelo doesn't hurry so much to advance the f1. First, he places the pieces perfect into the center on d4 and on e5, attacking b2. But Firouzja tries to make something with his king, because if not, his f4, f3 is coming, and later queen takes b2. So he tries to make something with his king, but this doesn't work. He just grabbed the pawn. And okay, the rest was easy. He traded the knight, but now after the check, he resigned because when he moves the king, f2 is coming and you cannot defend the pawn. So I really like this game. Was very interesting. We watched many typical moves in the knight of first. Okay, this h5, but this is main theory. And we watch all the normal moves. And here I really like this deviation of the theoretical lines with instead of knight b6 playing more strategy with bishop g7. Here we was the typical move of white against b5, with knight e5, knight c6. And here I really like this new idea for me. I never watched this in the knight of with bishop d3, with the idea of c3 and bishop c2. This is maybe the most interesting moment in the game for me. But the rest was very interesting too. Here, understand that it's better short castle and play more active here. Um, and the key moment when Batcher started to be better in the game was here. Trade is bishop for the good knight on d3. It's true that the knight on d3 is a very good piece, but the bishop on b5 blockading the queen is better than the knight. And when the e pawn is unuseful because you are opening the e5. So very interesting victory by Bachelard, who the takes 1.5 point of 2, so he's in the leader group, along with Prague, who beat Sindarov, and Vincent Keimer, who beat Deac in the other decisive game of the round 2. You have in the channel the game between Sindarov and Prague, and now I'm going to analyze the game between Keimer and Deac, so early you're going to have the game in the channel. Bye bye.